In this video I will lead you through the whole sketching process of the name Dream. We will learn together how to add a lot of arrows to your letters and also why it is sometimes better just to start over again. Let's start. Yo friends and followers, and welcome back to a new project. My name is Smoe, I'm a German graffiti artist, and the mission for today is to fill this paper, no, not this paper, to fill this paper. This is the good quality paper, this is the bad quality paper. I will use this one for the sketch first and then use the lightbox to transfer this sketch to the good thick 300 grams piece of paper. This is Munken Polar, 300 grams each square meter. Very thick, very good paper. And this is just ordinary 80 grams copy paper in format A3. And I want to sketch the name Dream. If possible, the customer asked, if possible, it would be cool to make it as a Wildstyle sketch. So I want to try at least to add a little bit more arrows than usual, more extra elements than usual. All in all, more stuff. So let's start. And I have absolutely no plan. And it is okay that you can't see the letters right now because I can't see them myself as well. Yeah, let's just start somehow. The good thing is that I don't need to take care that this is centered right now because I can still adjust it with the lightbox later. As usual, I start with classic flowish letters and see how they turn out, not being afraid to erase later. Most times I have to erase the first letter anyways, but I need a starting point, and this is my starting letter that I use. So we got a pretty flowish D right here now. But there are different techniques to add more stuff to it. One of the techniques is the so-called doubling. That means that at some point this one bar, this is just one bar that goes from here, down there, and a little bit up. This is one bar and this is the second bar. But we can split the bar into two parts, for example, like let's start here and maybe like this. And it goes back. Now I think that this part here could be longer and a little bit deeper so that we have a little bit more room, because the idea is that in the moment when we doubled this bar, this bar comes from the bottom and one part of this bar, the top part, goes here, and the other part of this bar goes down here into an arrow. So, and then we still got the bottom, the bottom part of this bar that is here. Okay, now I need, why did I erase this? Completely useless. Then we also can add some section lines. I love to have some section lines here and there just to avoid so much white space, just to break it a little bit and give it a little bit more detail. And we add maybe a chip here on it, and let's say maybe a lid. Probably we will erase this later, but just for the idea how to make a D a little bit more wild than it would be without all this extra stuff. So now the R. I'm not happy with this one. Let's say this one goes down here, and it is not thick enough. I want to have it thicker, and I want to have a bigger arrow. I don't like this small arrow. Let's say it goes here. It slices with itself. This is interesting. And then we make this arrow so much bigger. If I had to define what is Wildstyle, then Wildstyle, then first of all you need to ask yourself what kinds of styles are there, and we have like these three main groups: simple style, semi-wild style, and wild style. Simple style, no extra elements, maybe a few chips and lids, but no extra elements. Semi-wild style, extra elements. Wild style, extra elements, have extra elements. And this is what we will do. So that, for example, that this arrow here can also have a scab that goes down here or something. But what makes it so hard to make a really good wild style is that we always need to keep the identity of each letter in mind. So we are not allowed, because this is just stupid, letters are letters because they look like themselves. If you make a D that turns into a P, for example, or turns into an O, or turns into any other letter, because you when I make this main bar here too long, I make it like down here like this. Suddenly the D is not a D anymore, it becomes a P, and we don't want that, because this does not treat the letter with respect. We need to respect the identity of each letter, and this is why we have some letters that are more easy to style, because they have such a shape and such a combination of single bars or strokes that make it not so easy to misinterpret, that makes it just not so easy to see a different letter in them. But there are letters like, for example, the V. It loves to turn, when you make a V round, too roundish, just a little bit, suddenly it turns into a U. When you give the V maybe a kink to an extra element here, suddenly it is a J. When you make a V just a little bit like this, suddenly it turns into an R. The V is one of the hardest letters of all of them. When you have the V and you make just this bar just a little bit too long, suddenly it is a Y. It immediately turns into a Y. The V is the most terrible of all letters, because the V can't be round, it can't be boxy, it always has to be pointy down here, and you need to be very, very careful with extra elements that you add to it, because it turns into different letters so fast. While, for example, an A, you can do with an A whatever you want. You can make a roundish at the top, it still stays an A. You can make all stuff longer and add stuff to it, it always stays an A. And this is the reason why some letters are better for finding new solutions for them, to stylize them and to be creative with them, and some are just harder. And yeah. I completely lost why I say this, but yeah, okay, I say this because you need to be careful with the extra elements that we add to the extra elements, because we don't want that letters or that extra elements turn into new letters. Like here, for example, we could already say, oh, is this an S? Is this an S? So we need to take care that all the other letters look bigger and more different in comparison to the extra elements, so that we, of course, we have S shapes, of course we have other shapes in the letters, but we are lucky because this is the full color sketch. We can work with different colors for the extra elements in comparison to the main bars, and we will get through this together and make it as clean as possible while being as wild as possible, and to make everything make sense. This was my monologue about D. So, and as I said, I will erase this. This was just for an example. Let's add the chips and lids and stuff at the end, because they are I always love to start with the letters, then add extra elements, and then at the end add the flying extra elements. Like this here, for example, is an extra element that grows out of a bar, while a chip is a super easy extra element because it just flies there. You can add as much as you want wherever you want, nearly. But I use these ones and the lids always at the end, just to balance the style, because sometimes there are gaps that I need to fill, or there is just weight missing at one side, and then I just use chips and lids at the end. And yeah, I need to find the right place for the chips and lids later. Yeah, okay, maybe. Okay. When I do put this on at the top. DR. So now it would be cool. I would love to have a second arrow that maybe comes out of a double bar that goes through all of them here and ends in a second arrow. No, let's make the second arrow also upwards, so that we have more movement in there, because otherwise they would be on the same height, and this is not so interesting. So, okay, so then, and I think that these open endings from R, A, T, and I are always screaming for this beautiful heart shape that you can put down here. So, but still, the extra elements don't have extra elements. I want to add the E first. And as you already noticed, usually I would go much closer with the letters to each other, but we need space to make all the extra elements visible. So when you make a Wildstyle piece, always try to give the letters space in between for all the extra stuff. So usually I would like put the E now right here, very close, and let it go maybe up here, something like that. But I will go with the E like a centimeter more to the right, just to make room for extra stuff. And then of course this screams for another long... Oh, we could do my beloved swirl here and add an even longer third arrow. Oh, this would be nice. So maybe the idea could be to have several arrows to the left and several arrows to the left and several arrows to the right, and to make it look more complex like that. This would be cool, and then we can work with a lot of tiny blocks to give this all a lot of different layers. 3. Oh, I think it is getting too long. Maybe I will squeeze it a bit. I will squeeze it a bit and do just the extra elements more around, or put the A. I think we will get a space problem with the A and M there. Maybe I would make the E a little bit shorter and let it overlap here a bit. Okay, no, this does not work. So now I make the M here like, oh, holy shit. No, the best would be, okay, I got the problem. The best would be if I was leaning the M to the right, because then I can, okay, yes. So the easiest way to add an arrow is just to make a doubled bar into the opposite side. Like if this bar would go behind, this bar is the top bar, and behind this bar it would go up again and into this direction. But of course this part is not visible because it's behind the bar, and we can add the first arrow. Let's make maybe 10 arrows or something. This is cool. So okay. D-R-E-A-M, dream. Then there also we have a similar situation like here. So, okay, this is cool. And now what we still need, okay, this would be really crazy if we said that we add such a crazy swirl like we have on the left side at the bottom to the right side at the top. So we have like a rotated point symmetry between the arrows. And then I was just doing tiny adjustments here and there at the arrows for about half of an hour, but there was nothing too spectacular happening, and I called it a day, and I will be back another day. And there we are, back again. Okay, so now I'm pretty much happy with this part. I'm pretty much happy with this part. We got a big hole here that we still need to fill somehow. Maybe with an extension of the E here. Let's do it like this. This is cool. This is pretty cool. And then we want to fill this gap here. I tried it with a gap that comes from here. I didn't like it that much. But we can double the E like that. Maybe make this a little bit longer. Okay. Then I think we got a nice spot here for the broken halo heart. And let's see what else. I mean, we have just 6 arrows. We could really add some more arrows to it. Maybe just some arrows that grow out of the endings of the letters. Some writers hate this when you add an arrow at the end of a bar. So we can do this here, and we can perfectly do it here as well. Why not triple this bar and add another arrow that grows out here like this. Then of course we have to change the heart and put it a little bit higher, maybe here, something like that. Then let's make this one, turn this one into an arrow as well. This is great. This is funny. I like this. 9 arrows. We need more. I think we still need some more arrows. It is not wild enough for a wild style. Weakest of all arrows at all is just the random flying arrow that has no connection to any. Like this one is this arrow here, for example, is a very, let's say, advanced arrow because it has an extra bar that comes out of an extra bar that comes out of a doubled bar that is doubled from a main bar. So we have this doubled part that goes into this thin connection, into this extra bar, into this thin connection, into this extra bar that has a kink, and then we have the arrow. And this arrow at the right side is connected to the R. I mean, of course, it is melted to the M, it is slicing with the M, and it is over here, it has an interaction with the E also, and it is melted in a tiny melting point with the E also, and so on. But the origin of this arrow is here, and this is very advanced, and this is something that I think all graffiti artists really love. That is interesting because there's something happening and it is like a maze. And this arrow here is a little bit easier. It just has a doubled bar that has a kink and turns into an arrow. Pretty boring. Then we have this longer part that comes from A and ends in this arrow. But the most stupid, most boring way to add an arrow is just to add an arrow randomly, like this. You could add these arrows basically everywhere. Yeah, but I would say no, we won't do this. This is too easy. This is below our level. Maybe I'm just stupid and I could just do it and would have an easy life. But something is missing here, maybe something here. I don't know. It is good. This is also so. Maybe we. This is what we do. I think maybe if we give it a little bit more room here. And we say, so, okay, cool. Now it's so much fuller here than before because from the doubled bar of A, there's a thin connection that goes up and an extra bar that goes here and ends into an arrow. Wonderful. Good. Okay, now let's do the 3D. Now I'm happy. Now I'm entirely happy. I think 4 arrows here, 3 arrows there, 3 other arrows here. I think this is. It is not the wildest Wildstyle, but as I don't like Wildstyle that much, it is the wildest thing that I can do right now. So. Wonderful.
All my blocks are facing downwards to the vanishing point in the middle underneath the piece. And I also add tiny blocks everywhere where parts of other letters overlapping parts of letters below, so that it is more obvious.
I think I want to have this a little bit longer and have it slice this with the R. This makes it more interesting, makes it a little bit. Yes. Oh. Yes. Wonderful. So thanks a lot, Mr. Dream, for the opportunity to go a little bit more wild. Sometimes I'm just too lazy, probably, because I'm happy with less. But now, as I have to put more into the sketch, I think I have to say that I really enjoy it a bit more than expected. Cool. And I would say it is perfectly in the middle. Oh, maybe let's do a little bit of background right now. Let's do a tiny bit of background in front of the piece, or let's not do it. Let's just put a little bit of background behind it. I think there's already so much happening. What we could do, what I did in my last piece, what is pretty interesting, is I did some designs that were leaving the fill-in, were flying a bit. Maybe we could do something like that. And this needs a little bit of planning as well, because if we don't plan it right now, we can't paint over the outlines anymore. And then I think we just go with a classic Smoe smoke background with the hatching, and then we're done. No, this is just too much. It's too much. I don't like it. It is too much. I like it that it goes over this part here. This is wonderful. Like with the hatching, it will go here, blah blah blah. But down here is too much because it becomes too boxy. I don't want to have it so boxy. So maybe I would just have it here. Like this. And we have it like that, and then goes somewhere here, has a little bit of, it's a little bit visible here, then it's a little bit visible there, and so that's enough. I think that's enough. We don't need anything more. Not necessary at all.
And I would say this is the perfect moment to tell you a little bit about Smoe class. In this class we go through everything I learned in 20 years of style writing. We start at zero knowledge, we use scissors and other unusual tools and techniques to learn the secrets of letters. Step by step we go more and more complicated, learn how to add arrows and extra bars, and the best is this course does not only have 26 pre-recorded videos with more than 6 hours of video material, it also is combined with a group discussion where the other classes and I can see and discuss your sketches if you want. Recently there are just a few classes in the Smoe class, so this might be a good opportunity to start. So please check out smonova.de, read everything about the Smoe class, and if you want my feedback and get a different view on letters, this might be interesting for you. Thank you!
Here is the light box. Maybe we need to make it a little bit dark in here. We don't know. We will see. Oui. So first of all, always take care that this button is up there. Always take care that this button is up there. And then you can start with the painting. Need another battery here because all the plugs, all the sockets are way too far away. This is good. Now we put this good piece of paper on it, and we can't see anything because it's too light in here. And I shut down the light to be able to see what I want to paint here at all. Okay. Oh, what I didn't think about is, what color do I want to use at all? I got so many nice tips in my last sketching video about different materials that I should use, like washi tape, and I don't know what washi tape is, and other things, but I did not buy anything in the meantime, so I will go just with my regular Ohuhu brush journal dual brush pens color markers for the outlines. And I think that I want to make it more obvious that, for example, this arrow comes from D, and this arrow comes from R, and this arrow comes from E. I want to give D, R, and E slightly different outline colors, and also make variations of the fill-in, so that all letters have a little bit of a different fill-in, like light blue, middle blue, blue, light blue, middle blue, for example. And then we can okay, when this is middle, maybe let's say We have these tones, or I put even a violet in there. This would be cool, I think. Blue and violet. Or I use one as this arrow here, as this thing is very strong. We get the E goes up here as well, the A up there. Oh, crazy, the M is so, but the D as well, okay. Yeah, okay. I was thinking about maybe to make one letter with red outlines, because I love red outlines so much. But I will go with the blue. I will go with the blue. Or blue-green. And it is not like that I can imagine all of this 100%. It will be a little bit of a surprise for myself as well. Okay. Good. So now all the outlines from all elements that belong to D. But we do the smoke real quick first, otherwise we make a mistake there as well, and we don't want that.
So I paint all the elements that are in front of the outlines first, so that I know I don't have to paint outlines of my letters at this point.
Some information about my last sketching video. I was doing the last sketching video with so many different camera angles and was trying around to make it more beautiful. And I have to say, nobody cares. It is even, it seems to make the video performance worse. So I will not do it again. It was a test, it was a tryout. It took me like 50 hours of editing, and at the end I could go also with a nearly no editing video like this with only one camera angle, and I have even more views on it, and more people love to see it that way. It's less work for me, so I will not go with the complicated editing and many different angles again that fast. Okay, the D. Then what do we get here? Then we got a bit of block here and there, and also a tiny block here. There. Okay, this is our D. D. Then there is R. R has this arrow. Oh, it goes up to here. Crazy good. Good. Okay, over there I need to make a little bit of tiny adjustments probably. Okay. This is why I always start with a thin outline, so that I still have the option to make tiny changes here and there. Good. And the best thing is that my customer Dream will get this one here in his envelope and also the final graffiti. The last time when I sent my sketches to Mr. Arson, I got an email afterwards. Wow, yeah, you sent me both sketches. I didn't expect that. Yeah, but what should I do with this here? So. Okay. Good. We can do. Let's make the outlines thick at first, because the last time I was so annoyed by the thin outlines for so long. Let's make them thick first. My plan is to build a rotatable sketching table where the camera is fixed in the middle on top of it, so that the camera can record while I'm able to rotate it, because some lines are it is nearly not possible to make them in an accurate way. Okay, this already looks promising. So let's see, where are my markers? Huh? Okay, this is already good color for the D. And I need a light violet for the R, a light gray for the E. Perfect. This is perfect. I got the perfect colors immediately. So then a light, maybe this one. Yeah, why not? This one, and then I need a light turquoise. Oh, this is good. So, for the fill-in, as I work with dark outlines, I want to use lighter. So this is the fill-in. Always one color. I will go in these colors always a little bit with the other colors, just to give them a little bit of difference, and also it will give them shading and stuff. But let's fill them in one color first.
And now the problem starts. Why didn't I do this? It was good until here.
Or should I just do the blocks in this color?
No. No.
No, let's just do the blocks in these colors.
Yeah, now the problem starts.
Think about the fill-in afterwards. I'm
yeah,
not sure about
exactly. This is brilliant. Just make a decision about the
we
colors.
Need something more fresh.
Yeah.
Just one color.
Just one color would be good. If I would be able to turn back time, I would go back to this moment and just fill in the letters in one color and work a little bit with shadings in there, and it would be completely clean and nice. Yeah, but you will see what I do. Oh, no, I already spoiled a little bit that this is not the final sketch. Yeah, this is not the final sketch. I will mess this up completely. And I just thought it is interesting for you to see me mess something up. And probably a lot of people will say, but this looked so good. And the worst thing that could happen to me right now is that my customer sees this video and says that he likes the color combination more than the sketch that he really got. I will speed this up, the whole process a bit. And until to the meltdown where I just noticed that this is not the final version that I want to send over to New York.
Yo, okay. Let's start over. I just messed this up. It is like, yeah, not good. Okay, but I like the R, so let's do something that is similar to the R. A whole sketch with it. I don't know. This here. Good. Okay, next try. I would just go with the blue outlines. Yeah. Okay, let's do the pink first. Which pink did I use? This one here. This one was great.
Yeah, and this is the advantage of a light box, that you can use the first lines 2 times if you mess up the sketch. I mean, this is just a plan B, and I hope that this will not happen to me again that fast. I mean, I think this didn't happen to me like 10 years or something, that I mess up the color combination so badly. Of course, this is super subjective, and you can maybe see something super beautiful in it, but there is no use to paint something that other people think is beautiful. I have to think and to feel that this is beautiful, because otherwise it is not fulfilling. And so, I had to repaint the whole sketch at least 2 times. I made a mistake there with the block, with the tiny block, something that I can't erase. So I have to make it a 3rd time. Let's start over again. But this will be the last time. The last try to finish this sketch. And it was definitely worth it. I mean, sometimes you have these days where things just don't turn out as expected, where stuff takes longer, but it is always worth it to take the extra time and to be happy and proud afterwards, instead of just delivering a piece that you are not happy with. Especially when it goes to New York. I mean, this is crazy. I'm this guy from Warendorf and painting sketches that people order in New York, on the other side of the planet. This is so crazy. So thanks a lot, Mr. Dream, for your order. And I decided to go with a more classic color scheme now. And you need to be very patient from time to time when you're an artist. And I was definitely very annoyed, to be honest. I have some parts in this video where I was talking with my wife and she asked me how I feel. And I said, yes, I'm very annoyed right at this moment. Why didn't I make the right decisions right at the right moment? Why did I have to make it in this weird color composition? But sometimes you have these days and then it happens, and probably nobody would have noticed, I don't know. But at the end I know that this is stupid from an economical standpoint. It is very, very stupid to paint or always try to paint for yourself. Yeah, but I still do this, and so I had to repaint it to make myself happy, so that I have another sketch in my collection of sketches where I can say, yeah, this is cool. This is what I really like. This is a sketch that would make the 16 years old Smoe so happy just to see it. Yeah, and this is basically the motivation to paint this whole sketch again. I mean, at the end I was done with the first sketch after 5.5 hours, and now it is in total, it took me about 8 hours of sketching that I squeezed together for you to make it a little bit faster, to about 1 hour or something. I don't know it right at this moment in this video. Yeah, but this is my approach. I always want to paint in a way that would impress 16 years old Smoe. And then sadly something happened that I was already complaining about in the last video, in the last raw video where I was painting in the factory. Yeah, my GoPro deleted some footage, and it was basically the whole fill-in. So there we are.
Wonderful. Destroyed the data. Okay, wonderful, thank you.
But the good news are, I got a complete new camera setup. I will show it to you real quick. And the best thing about this camera is that it has this face tracking stuff, and I'm playing around with that in the new videos. And if everything turns out like expected, the new raw videos will even be in 4K. And the camera will always track me. This is so cool. I'm in the future. But back to the dream sketch. Yeah, I'm using not a crayon, how is it called? A colored pencil. I'm using a colored pencil to add shadings to the blocks. The shadings will be dark the further they are away from the front of the piece. And do I have... And I think the light source is at the top left side. So every part that is facing downwards or facing to the right will be darker than blocks that are facing to the left, and blocks that are facing upwards are not visible at all because the vanishing point is below the letters, so all blocks are facing downwards more or less. And to make the fadings with the colored pencil even more smooth, I go over all the fadings with the fill-in color of the blocks with this violet. So this smudges the paint a little bit together and makes the fadings and also the coloring of the colored pencil just more smooth. I can give you a comparison between before using the Ohuhu marker and after, and then you can see it real quick. So this is how all the fadings in the blocks look like without painting over them with the same color again, with the same Ohuhu marker, and this is how it looks afterwards. This was before, afterwards, before, afterwards. So there is a difference. It looks like that the Ohuhu marker increases the saturation of the colored pencil. I don't know why, but you have seen it. So, and I think it just looks more smooth, and I like it more like that. It's just like 2%, but we Germans love to say, Kleinvieh macht auch Mist. That I can't translate that, but I would say like even the small steps help you to reach the goal or something like that. If you translate it right into English, it is small animals also make shit. Oh yeah, okay. Then I add the drop shadow, the cast shadow of the letters above that of course make a shadow on the elements below. And I use a light greenish color for the whole sketch. I add it everywhere, always at the bottom, and at the right side of elements that are overlapping, because the light source is at the top left corner. So the shadows will cast downwards to the right side. And to give the letters just the little extra detail that they need, I add designs in the same color like the outline. Just some outlines of these chip elements here and there. Not to forget about the broken halo, a little greeting to Mr. Dream. My tag, of course. And then I was nearly happy. I think there was just 1% missing, maybe 1.5%. So the blocks also got some block effect. That means that these lines are facing into the same direction like the vanishing point. Otherwise, it will make the block look completely crooked. And at this stage, it is always very hard to decide when exactly the piece or the sketch got enough detail and when you start to overstyle it. But there was still a little bit of yellow missing in the fill-in. And after that, I have to say, I was just happy. Perfect. Style is done. In the third attempt, I made it. It got the love and attention that it needs, so that I can feel good sending this over to the USA. I want to say a big thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. They have seen this video like 2 weeks earlier than everyone else. If you want to see your name at the end of a Smoe video, check out the video description. There you can find the link to my Patreon. but you can also find it on my website. And yeah, thanks a lot for your attention. Do all the YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, write a nice comment, whatever you think you might want to write there. And I think this was a nice, pretty quick raw video. I was working a little bit more with speeding up the process like usual. Yeah, but I think it is good like that.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I have to stop now. I think it's great. I think it's great. Good. Okay. We'll do some final shots with this camera here. Okay, the color does not appear like it really is. Okay, I will make the last shots of it at daylight. However, this was the worst experience ever. This was the sketch before. This was the pre-sketch that I really like. I love it. It is great. It has so much different. I need to turn off this. It has so much different extra elements and so on, and all these extra arrows, and I really like it. This was just. It went out of control right at the moment when I used this red. I think this red put the nail in the coffin. Then I liked this one so much, this R, and I didn't even notice that now this dream has the same color composition like the Gibson sketch, or nearly, pretty close. Could have been a little bit more different, but yeah, I will do some last shots of it at daylight and send this over to New York tomorrow. Yes. Goodbye.